Morning everyone, and welcome to today's trading analysis on the 5th of November. And apologies for not making a video for quite a while, but I've had some time this morning to look at the charts. So there's quite a lot happened in the last 2 weeks. The Fed have raised their interest rates another 75 basis points, which is in my mind quite a negative. A lot of companies have come out with some negative results. For example, Coinbase is losing another $600 million. It doesn't appear like there's any really good news when it comes to the inflation or anything like that right now. So let's jump right into the weekly chart on Bitcoin and see what has happened. You can see that I haven't changed my targets or my arrows at all, but I am going to do this now on this video. I'm going to delete this arrow because this time is now past. You can see that my target between 14 and 20k has been hit during this period, but I must be honest, this is not exactly what I was expecting. I was actually expecting this to be a bit lower, so I'm going to just extend this time a little bit, and I'm just going to move this over a little bit here to November. In essence, it feels like the Bitcoin is running up this arrow on the weekly scale as the estimates. You can also see it's made a green 3 above a green 2, but we have to still keep in consideration that we are still below the 21 moving average. We are getting closer to it. You can see we couldn't even get close to it there. We did get rejected there and there. A rejection here at about $22,500. That probably could be signaling some more downside. But for now, on the weekly scale, there is definitely a little bit of positive momentum. On the daily scale, you can see those were two bigger moves. But I think what's very important is to just note that even though these were two powerful moves, and this particular move a week ago was something like $1 billion worth of liquidations, short liquidations. And I was thinking about that. I mean, look how big these moves were compared to that little move over there. So I think the people are making quite a big fuss about nothing at this stage. We are still making lower highs. You can see even when you look at the RSI is starting to make a higher high. And on the larger scale, these flags have still been playing out. I don't see it being as bullish as everyone is at the moment. If you look at the funding rate, you can see that the funding rate has gone positive, which means more people are long than they are short. And that, of course, sets us up for a long liquidation, meaning downwards pressure. And you can see that every time that more people have gone short and gone long, in this case, that there has been an upwards move. And this is what's happened here. And this is that big short squeeze that everyone's referring to. You can see that for quite a while now, this has been building, and all those shorts have now been liquidated in one move. You can actually see that, it started happening here, there, and there, and, this move has just gone through these three periods. So it's really not been such a big or significant move. And you can see that there's overall more longs than shorts in the market right now. XRP has got a bit of a different story. You can see that this move with the news a couple of weeks ago have actually moved XRP above the 21 moving average, which is quite a bullish scenario. So the difference between Bitcoin and the S&P and XRP is that XRP has now moved above the moving averages. So that is a positive. You can see it's being squeezed between this downward trend line and that moving average. So a break to the upside here is actually quite possible for XRP. On the daily scale, I've got this descending triangle that could potentially be forming. You can see that every time it sort of hits at the top there, it's now 3 touches at the top and 3 touches at the bottom. And if this plays out, by mid-November, we could possibly see XRP back down here. Obviously, a break upside, the next target would be 60 cents. XRP against Bitcoin, you can see that it's sort of in the last year, 2 years, has been in this weird range, and you can see, it did fall below this range during this period. But generally, it loves to be in this range, and right now it's sort of on that 50% mark. Looks like it's forming some sort of a flag. So it looks like XRP against Bitcoin can move upwards. When you look at the S&P, this is where things are getting really interesting. You can see that since the highs, the S&P has been rejected by the 21 moving average, and again it was rejected by the 21 moving average. It did seem to hit the bottom here sort of roughly within a week, and is now moving upwards as expected. The only problem that I have right now is that if you look on the daily scale, that you can see that we are now moving into this trough area, which is for mid-November. You can see that the chances of a little bit of downside coming up in the next 2 weeks is actually quite high. The Dixie, the US dollar, is actually still looking very strong. I know it had a bit of a bad sort of couple of days, the last 2 days, and this weekly scale candle, I must say, is looking terrible from a US dollar strength point of view. You can see, the long wick to the top with a small little body at the bottom is actually seen as a shooting star. That usually should be at the top of a trend, so I'm not really sure if this has got too much significance. But you can see that this channel that has been there since the beginning of this year, as the Dixie have been grinding upwards, you can see that the RSI is slowly moving downwards, and every time it gets to the bottom of the channel, the RSI is slightly lower, and that means that the Dixie is getting stronger and stronger as it moves upwards. So a move upwards here is actually quite plausible, and then at the same time that would coincide a move downwards here from the stock market, and on Bitcoin it could potentially be a rejection from the 21 moving average. Bitcoin is still making lower highs. It hasn't made higher highs yet. It is still below the 21 moving average. The Dixie is still making higher highs. The Fed is still raising their interest rates. So from now, I would say that just be careful. There's definitely a target of between $14,000 and $20,000. If I look at my own personal portfolio, I'm actually quite short in crypto at the moment. I've got 20 or 30% in crypto. I'm generally more sitting in the US dollar, just waiting for this next month to play out. The risks are quite high of a downwards move, and we need to just be aware of that. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and let's see you on the next one.